Hi everyone, it's Fee here, Fiona from fionamarks.com. I am back talking to you about Year 4 and the tips for success that I have or that we've accumulated in 2020 as we went through the process. I hope that you find these helpful. It's been so great to meet several of you. I look forward to meeting all of you. There are videos already up on my YouTube channel that cover some of this. So I just haven't done one for a while. So I wanted to at least keep going some way through the process. Already up on the channel is the welcome video and congratulations, which I just reiterate. And the encouragement that you would set up your own network to meet or join ours. And I'm so happy that you have joined our network. I know that we still got things to work out. We really need to find a great platform to meet, but at least in the meantime, we can get together on Zoom every week just to talk over whatever's on our mind and to share and learn from each other. So I'm really pleased about that. And there's also a video there about business processes. So the first 3 are up. I think I need some videos, some more, one about the 42 readings, one about the 10,000 word papers, and one about the 60-minute video lectures. And then perhaps a video about preparing for a reading in like the cut down or the short way that I do when I do my readings, and then preparing for a reading, the long version, perhaps when you're doing your essay. So there's still more videos to make, and maybe that list will get longer as well. But today, let's at least have a look at the 42 readings. This is 14 readings each semester, of which there are 3. So if you think of a semester is about 12 weeks long, you need to do more than one reading every week once you get started. And that just kind of hit all of us hard. So see if you can get on the front foot and do some of these things right now as you're in the week leading up to starting your Year 4. Have a think about how you want to receive payment, because you might not do that already, or maybe you do. But if you don't do it already, perhaps PayPal is a good way to go. You just need an email address to set that up. So maybe PayPal. Some clients don't like using PayPal. And then maybe an alternative, the credit card app provider that I use is Stripe. I really like Stripe, and you can create invoices there through Stripe and send them by email. So maybe that's a way to go. If you do it by PayPal, people can make the payment of their choice. Whereas if you do it on Stripe and create an invoice, you have to have the amount agreed. So depends on what you think donation means. And maybe you can use bank accounts in your country. If clients are in your country, maybe that's the way to go, but at least put some thought into that now. And I also think it's a great idea at the beginning, before you get overwhelmed, to create a register to monitor your readings. Could be a table or could be a spreadsheet, but somewhere where you can write down, you can give each reading a number so that you know where you're at in terms of your 42 or your 14, and that you can give it a status like received, first request, or sent email, or waiting for a response. Or definitely you want to have a column where you record if the person has paid and if you've received their feedback, because you're going to need to follow up if you don't have those things. So rather than be kind of on the run all the time, in this week before you start your official Year 4, why don't you put together a register of some kind? Then also in this week before you start, think about, do you like to do live readings? Do you like to do written reports, or do you think pre-recording a reading might be the best way for you to go? And whatever you decide there, have a think now about what platform that's going to be. because anything that you can think about now is going to save you, allow you just to concentrate on doing the readings once all of that starts. So I think in our year, people did a variety of all of these forms. I always did live readings because I love that, but I know some people did written reports, and I also know some people pre-recorded their sessions. And I think clients, although I love live readings, I know clients might really prefer a written report or a pre-recorded because they've got it for the future to look into. So I don't think any one of these is better or worse than the other. Just choose the medium that you think will work well for you. I would also think about drafting your email templates now. And I think there are two essential ones that you need. You need an email to tell them what to do, and that is to introduce yourself, tell them what you need from them, which is a time and date of birth, and the questions that they are going to ask you, and tell them to donate to secure the booking or the recording. Now, you may do it your own way. I didn't personally ask for the donation before the reading, but that's kind of because I like to get, I wanted that kind of getting paid for the work that I'd done thing. I wanted to see what kind of amount I would receive based on the reading that I was giving. It let me know what market rate to charge later on. But you might like to, and it's probably a really good idea, to get them to donate first. So perhaps you're going to put that in your first template. In the second template, this is after you've done the reading, you need an email to request payment if you haven't already, and to give them the feedback form. So there's definitely going to be that second contact because they need to give you feedback. You are going to go through a process to find your own way to read a chart. You know everything that I know from the apprenticeship program. We know so much. We have such a rich knowledge of astrology, or such a rich exposure to Vedic astrology in many layers. It's time now. In these 42 readings, you are going to find out your method. I will do a recording of the way that I found, but I really think it's great if you solve that problem yourself, because it has to make sense to you, and you have to kind of try it, see if it works, do the next one and improve it, and by little heuristic steps get better and better. And I don't want to take away from you your natural process. So start thinking about the way that you're going to research the chart. Go back to your notes and copy all of the tools into their own folder, which I just have one called Tools for Reading Charts. And in that folder, like I have Rahu and Ketu. I have what I did was like copied and pasted all of Ernst's notes in Kala about Rahu and Ketu. And I also took Ryan's notes from our course, so that when I'm preparing my chart, I can go to one document, and if I've got Rahu in the 6th house, I go to this document and have a look. What does Ernst say about that? What does Ryan say about that? And I copy and paste that into my reading. Or I've got Rahu in Aquarius, and I go have a look at what Ernst said about Rahu in Aquarius. I've got my notes in Shadbala from the Shadbala course about what is it like when you have good Chestabala Jupiter? What is it like when Chestabala is not good for Jupiter? What is it like when you've got strong Sthanabala for the sun? What is it like when you don't have strong Sthanabala? Get those nuances of Shadbala. So go back and get your notes for that. The larger Tadyavashtas, they are all, as you know, in the Art and Science of Vedic Astrology, Volume 2. But you might have your own notes that you want to have there. That planets table that we did at the end of the first year, your natural friendships from the Bhavas and Houses course. I love the Yavana Jataka descriptions of the Rashis that we had from Rashis and Signs. So I was pleasantly surprised when I went to start reading charts that actually we've been creating all of these tools. So if you really don't know where to go, you might also be surprised to find that you have them in your notes already. The final thing that I want to say is that the answers to all the questions that your client has asked you are in their chart. So just take a deep breath and go look at the chart, because sometimes we get a question from a client and we're like, I don't even know where that is. Although that can be scary, it's right there. They wouldn't have asked that question unless it was there. So just have faith, take a deep breath, and go start researching that chart. It's going to be there. You don't have to worry that you don't have it or you don't know the answer to that, because when you're researching the chart, it's going to the areas that are important. The question helps you know which areas are important. You're going to see things in those important areas that will help you. And it's, as Ryan taught us way back at the beginning, it's perfectly okay to say, I can't see from the indicators in your chart a clear answer to that question. I can see this and I can see this and I can see this. And there's no clear answer. So rather than, we shouldn't, we don't have to feel that we have to know everything. So feel free to let the client know you've researched it, you've seen these indicators, it's not clear what the answer is, but don't stop and be like the deer in the headlights. If your client asks you something in the email or the first contact that you're like, I don't even know what that is, go have a look, because it's probably right there and you're going to see it. So that would be my tip for advice. So then let's pause here and see if I can show you some of those tools. Hold on. Okay, so here you are in my Explorer. You can see this is my Vedic astrology folder, and I ended up doing tools for reading charts. And in that, I have all the things that I have found useful, and I put them in the order of how, when I most recently created them or added them here. I find the Bhava Yogas from the Art and Science of Vedic Astrology really helpful. I finally ended just typing them all up because I've used them so much. For months and months and months I used the book, but now they are just in text form here. House analysis table, that's my spreadsheet. You can watch a video about that. That's my own thinking. The planets table, I'm just going to show you this briefly. Do you guys remember this? We did this back in the third unit of the first year. Each planet. This can be really helpful sometimes to go back to the basics. Then we did a page on each planet. So I like to have that in my tools for reading charts. I also like to have Rahu and Ketu. This is what I was saying to you, in all signs. Yeah. These are from Carla, and these are from Ryan's course with us. And you can see, you'll recognize these from Carla. So if I have Rahu in the first, or I have Rahu in Aries, I come and I get the text from here, and it helps me as I'm synthesizing information. Let me just show you Ryan's notes so that you remember them as well. Yep, these are Ryan's, when from the course. I think these are from the extra material that he sent us, just some words that he shared about each house. Yep, and then also I have the conjunctions of the nodes with the planets. Those are both from Ryan and from Carla. Okay, so I like to use that one. Let's close out of that. Then this is what I developed for the Lajjatadiyavashtas. So when I want to research, if I see a Lajjatadiyavashta, if Mercury is agitating the moon, I've got my notes about how that shows up. So that all comes from our notes from the Lajjatadiya course. Exalted, debilitated, and combust. That this also comes from Kala, that can help. And this I use a lot. This comes from the yogas course, where we went through each ascendant and whether the planet is or inauspicious or auspicious and why, what they rule. You'll have your own version. These are just my notes, but I use that for every reading to look at each ascendant. And then the Shadbala table, which this comes from the Shadbala notes. It just reminds you it's easy. That was back in second year. It's easy to forget the detail of this. So when you're looking at Kala, this can help you remember, like Digbala and the remedies that can help with each of those. So those come from our Shadbala notes. So I hope that that helps you prepare for your 42 readings, and that you will do what you can in this week before you get started to set yourself up, get yourself a register, maybe draft some templates. Definitely think about how you want to receive payment, and begin formulating your own way of reading a chart. And I'll share with you a little bit later down the track how I do mine. Okay, I'm looking forward to seeing you on our Zoom calls and in the next video about preparing for the fourth year. Okay, see you then. Bye, guys.